Well, this is episode 26 of Berry Share. And, honey, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, we are talking about fear versus love. And we are asking to choose your channel when it comes to parenting. So, a lot of times we base every decision really off of one of two things. We either base our decisions out of fear or we base them out of love. And so when it comes to parenting, that's the same thing.
Right.
We either parent out of fear or we parent out of love. And so today we are going to be talking about just what each one of those looks like and how to choose the love channel when it comes to our parenting styles.
So fear, if we're afraid of something, we will want to try to control the situation. If we're afraid of somebody getting mad, if we're afraid of somebody pulling away from us, rejecting us, and we're afraid of losing love, then we will try to control the situation because we don't want that to happen.
Right.
But love, on the other hand, is more secure than that and leads to freedom and actually gives power away. It actually recognizes that control itself is a myth.
Right.
And that freedom is really the pathway to thriving.
Exactly. I mean, I think that it's really interesting to think about control is actually a myth. And when you put that into the parenting perspective, we think that we can control our kids, but the truth is that we cannot control them. If any of you have ever been parents before, you know that you really can't control a 3-year-old who's having an absolute fit on the supermarket floor.
Right.
You can't control them. You can do your best to try to, if it intimidates you or it brings up fear in you, to try to manipulate the situation, but you can't make them stop. If they're going to have a fit, they're going to have a fit.
Right. And a lot of times, how do we try to control? Sometimes we try to control them with a threat of, if you do this, then I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You can try to control them with a bribe. And ultimately, it's really not empowering them to make a real choice, to operate in real freedom, but it's an attempt to just control their behavior. And it's not making them become the powerful person that they are.
Yeah. And so I think, when we fear our kids' sin or our kids' mistakes, then we're going to try to control them. But when we recognize, like, kids are going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. Kids are professional mistake makers. That's how we learn.
That's how we all learn.
Everyone learns through mistakes. I heard a pastor say, everyone learns through mistakes. It doesn't have to always be yours.
That's good.
And so, but as kids, they don't know how to read, or they don't know, a lot about mentoring and stuff. So they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to learn through mistakes because as parents, we allow them to make mistakes, and then we allow them to feel the consequences, good or bad, depending on their decisions. They have good consequences when they make good decisions, and they have bad consequences when they make bad decisions.
And ultimately, love allows those mistakes. You have freedom to fail. Yeah. Now, obviously, as responsible parents, you limit the liability of those failures. You don't want a kid to learn not to run out into the street by allowing them to get hit by a car.
Right.
But you do want to allow your children at their appropriate ages to make the choices that is appropriate to make at that time.
Love actually is not scared of mistakes. Love allows itself to give away power in appropriate ways. So, and then love allows the consequences to actually do the teaching.
So one of the things that I think about is our 7-year-old Allie. She's hot-blooded, just likes to run around in the snow in a t-shirt sometimes. And we're just like, is this kid ever going to wear a coat? And I know there was multiple days where she's running out to the bus in the morning, and Nicole's like almost wanting to chase after her and like give her a coat.
Yeah, my natural tendency is to be like, grab your coat, make sure you got your coat on.
Yeah.
But I've had to learn to allow her to make that choice. And so love allows her to make the choice. Now, what was the thing that I was fearing inside when I was saying, go get your coat? Well, I mean, we live in North Carolina. It doesn't get that cold. So honestly, like, I'm not fearing that she's going to die of frostbite by sitting at the bus stop for 5 minutes without a coat. Really, when I had to look inside, I realized that I was fearing judgment. I was fearing judgment from the other parents who might say, why did she send her kid out with no coat? I was fearing judgment from a possible judgment, not even that it was actually happening, but judgment from a bus driver or a teacher or anyone, a neighbor, anyone who saw my kid running outside in 40-degree weather without a coat or 30-degree weather without a coat. But you know, we actually had to kind of work through that. I had to come to a recognition of what am I fearing? And then I had to say, you know what? That's not as important as allowing my kid to feel powerful and to make her own decisions. And so I started just saying, okay, Allie, I'm going to give you guidance. And so in the morning, I would just say, guys, it's 43 degrees this morning, and today the high is going to be 60. You choose. Do you want a coat or not? And so some days she would walk out without a coat, and some days she would go outside. Like this morning, she walked outside without a coat. She had her little t-shirt on, and then she stopped and she was like, hold up, it's cold out here. I think I want a coat. And then she came back in and got her coat and then went outside. And so the consequence that she would have experienced, or that she has experienced in the past, that led her to that change, was that there have been days where she's walked outside and she was cold all day.
That's right.
You know, and so that didn't happen often.
A little bit of discomfort is a good teacher.
A little bit of discomfort is a good teacher. She's not, again, going to freeze, because we live in North Carolina and it's not exactly very cold here compared to, you know, other places. But man, she started becoming responsible for her own decisions. So now she feels empowered to say, do I need a coat or do I not need a coat?
Right. And so this morning, she goes out, and walks outside, feels the temperature, and says, I think I need a coat. Comes back in, grabs a coat, and then she's off.
Yeah.
You know, what is the deal? What are we ultimately trying to do? Is we're trying to treat our kids like God treats us. He's not a dictator. He is a gentleman and a guide. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want to force love. That's why he gave us free will and gives us the opportunity to choose to follow this guide who has all the wisdom in the world, or to reject that and to follow our own way. And he loves us enough to allow consequences to come when we make bad choices.
Exactly.
He's a loving father who gives us freedom, who's empowered us. And we are powerful people. And ultimately, we're trying to raise up powerful people that happen to be our kids right now. I think it's just a good lesson to think about, that God is always on the love channel and not on the fear channel. Mm-hmm. And he wants us as parents to choose the channel of love, to let love be the motivation and not fear of any kind when we are parenting and guiding our kids.
Right.
Guys, thank you for joining us again on Berry Share. It's been our joy. I'm Brandon Berry.
And I'm Nicole Berry.
And please like and share this so that more folks can learn to thrive. It's our passion to inspire passion for your priorities. And y'all take care and have a great week. Peace.
Thanks. Bye.